due to some issues in practice. So their first and third leading scorers are out once again. Great atmosphere tonight at the Dean Dome, and here are the starting lineups. As you mentioned, the Virginia Tech Hokies are very thin tonight, looking for their first ACC win under Buzz Williams. Their leading scorer on the active roster is Adam Smith. He's going to come in off the bench. He averages 13 a game, 3 freshmen in the starting lineup. Meanwhile, for Roy Williams, we talked about Marcus Page coming off arguably his best game this year, 23 points. Kennedy Meeks coming off his 7th double-double of the season against North Carolina State. Buzz Williams has faced Roy Williams one time. That was in the 2011 Sweet 16 when Buzz was at Marquette. He said his offense couldn't even get going against North Carolina that night. That was in the Sweet 16. The Heels would win and then lose in the Elite Eight to Kentucky that year. Heels win the tip, 3 straight games decided by 2 points or less. You got to go back to January of '76, the last time that happened. But they're 3-1, and Bryce Johnson makes it 2-0.
Very nice little post play for Bryce Johnson. Get him an early touchdown, that block. Big man turns, shoots a nice jump hook, off to a good start.
Virginia Tech has finished last in the ACC 3 consecutive years. Buzz Williams brought in to help rebuild the program. Currently on a 4-game losing streak. They're 8-8 overall. But an offensive foul is called against Satchel Pierce, the freshman. So UNC takes over, and Roy Williams closing in on John Chaney for 16th all-time on the wins list, 737 career wins. Second all-time in North Carolina and Kansas histories in wins behind Fog Allen and Dean Smith, respectively.
One of the things Coach Williams was talking about, we talked to him earlier, was how this team will ramp up and play, without having Justin Bibbs in the lineup, who's their leader and their scorer. You see teams usually that night play really, really well, so he's expecting a heck of an effort out of this Virginia Tech basketball team.
Justin Jackson, the freshman who Roy Williams says has a lot of potential to be great, makes it 4-0.
Has great length, and does a good job to shoot the mid-range jumper, has nice moves on the post, around the block, hard worker on defense. He does. He's got a great opportunity to play at the next level, no doubt about it.
Here's Devin Wilson, 4th in the ACC in assists per game. Trying to facilitate to Will Johnston. All he does is shoot threes. Can't connect there. North Carolina averaging 80 points a game. That's 3rd in the ACC. A dangerous offensive team when they're working on all cylinders.
Also one of the top teams in rebounding in the country. North Carolina has over 414 rebounds on the season versus a team like Virginia Tech that doesn't rebound the ball as well. So look for North Carolina to try to build an advantage on the backboard tonight as well.
Tokoto misses. Tapped out by Johnson. Page.
I'll tell you, it's really remarkable to watch this young man, knowing how much pain he has had with that plantar fasciitis. I don't know if you've ever had it, Adam, but it is absolutely awful. And to play basketball is unbelievable.
Kind of feels like just something that's always piercing into your foot. Right?
Absolutely. You can't get away from the pain. The only thing you do is get off your feet and not have any activity. It takes a long period of time to get better.
North Carolina foul on Page. Buzz Williams signed a 7-year deal worth about $18 million. Doesn't use an agent, which is a rarity for college coaches these days, but he was lured away from Marquette by Whit Babcock, the first-year athletic director, a splashy hire, bringing Buzz Williams over.
It's going to take time for this Virginia Tech basketball team, just like Buzz Williams was at Marquette. I mean, he built that place into an absolute powerhouse. And as they continue to recruit, he continues to build his philosophy. He's a defensive-oriented basketball coach, and he wants to get these kids to play better defense.
Shane Henry, fresh off the bench, the most athletic Virginia Tech Hokie on the floor, finally puts Vatech on the board.
Good job by Henry, crashing the boards, following up, cleaning up that missed layup opportunity there. Good job.
Tokoto missed it. Can Virginia Tech rebound the defensive glass? Struggling early. Henry finally clears. One of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the nation, going up against arguably the best offensive rebounding team in the country in the Heels. What a play by Bryce Johnson, using that 6'9" length to steal it away.
Virginia Tech can rebound with this team. They just got to do it as a group. You have to do it as a team.
Meeks, great position.
Excellent big man move there, keeping the basketball up high, not bringing it down, so the little guys can swipe it away. Kenny makes a good job.
That's something that Roy Williams and Hubert Davis talked to us about today. Listen, he's lost all this weight, he's got some lift, but he's just got to score earlier when he catches the ball. He can't wait for little guys to come in and try to knock it away.
Exactly right. I'm so impressed with Kenny Mixon. I mean, he's lost about 30 or 40 pounds. He looks absolutely phenomenal. continues to work hard on his body. He's got great hands. And you're right, he's got some lift, and he needs to be more explosive when he catches the basketball immediately. He doesn't have to wind up. He's lost a little bit of that weight. He's ready to go.
Ahmed Hill, a much-needed three. That's going to be the cog for Virginia Tech. Can they shoot from the outside? The second-best three-point shooting team in the ACC. Tokedo's athleticism gets him inside, but he missed an easy one.
Boy, I'd like to see him slam at home. He was right there at the goal. He's so athletic. And I know he had it in his mind to finish that shot at the last moment. Pull back, try to finger roll it, missed it.
One of the best dunkers in the conference by far.
Yeah, he can absolutely get hard.
Here's Henry against Meeks. Can they turn this into an advantage, the quickness of Henry against the sleeker Kennedy Meeks?
I don't see why not. Henry's such a great athlete. Continue to move.
Shot clock at 6. Johnston. Out of the 63 career field goals he's had, 58 are three-pointers, and just like that, Vatech back into the game on an 8-2 run.
I like the fact that he's looking for his shot. He's looking for his opportunity. You know, they don't have the leading scorer in the game. He's looking for a chance to knock down that three ball.
A timeout on the floor here at the Dean Dome, but when we come back, our buddy Brad Daugherty is going to talk about not just his home court, but his home courts. It's coming up after this. Welcome to Sunday night.
Walking through that door.
Carmichael was a great spot to watch a college basketball game.
The best.
You said it was very, very difficult to play in that arena as an opponent. Jimmy V had a nice moment. You told me this great story. You got to tell us this.
Yeah, our last game in Carmichael against North Carolina State. We beat North Carolina State, had a great game, and I'm getting ready to walk off the court. I saw Coach Valdano run over and grab the basketball, and he went and ran and shot a layup. And he's walking back, and I said, well, you know, he's like, I wanted to score the last basket in Carmichael. So Coach V at the time had the last basket in Carmichael until we had to play I think we played an NCAA game there a few years back.
NIT game, I think.
NIT, that's exactly right. So Coach V had the last basket for a number of years.
That's great. Devin Wilson, the sophomore out of Pennsylvania at the stripe after a Nate Britt foul. North Carolina got off to a 7-0 start, but Virginia Tech with a couple of threes working itself back into the game. That's what Virginia Tech does as well as anybody in the conference. Shoot from the outside. Carolina defends the perimeter as well as anybody in the ACC.
I really like to see Virginia Tech, they'll go to some of their half-court sets. Try to get some fouls with some of these big guys. I mean, they're a smaller basketball team, got good athletes. I'd like to see them get some fouls on North Carolina. Be aggressive.
They're going to play a lot of zone tonight. They do it against a three from Jackson. He's got 5 early points, and Carolina leads by 3. Again, a very, very small rotation for Virginia Tech without 2 of their top 3 leading scorers. It's a very thin lineup to begin with, and a very small lineup compared to the size of North Carolina.
Got to set some screens, got to play with your teammates, got to communicate, got to talk to Virginia Tech.
Malik Mueller's off target.
And you got to get on the backboard. You can't just give up these easy rebounds and let North Carolina come and run the other before.
Well, it seemed like they didn't really send anybody to the offensive glass, send everybody back for the zone defense.
Got to get someone to crash. You got to get some possession by crashing the backboard. North Carolina's going to crash. You got to crash.
And a foul called on Shane Henry as he bumped Justin Jackson. Another substitution for North Carolina is Theo Pinson, the true freshman out of Wesleyan Christian, will come into the game for Jackson. Joel James, the junior, is on the floor as well. Tokedo remains out there, but Hicks and Britt are on as well. A very deep North Carolina team compared to Buzz Williams' crew.
They really have a deep basketball team. They continue to get better each game, continue to work. Coach Williams works these guys really, really hard. It's all about teamwork, all about communication and confidence.
Hill defended well. Carolina on the push, a 4-on-3. And Tokedo flipped it over the head of Pinson. Hill runs it down, draws the contact, and will go to the line.
Mistake on both ends by Pinson. On the offensive end, the mistake was just a little bit of an overthrow. That happens. That could be just missed timing, misjudgment, not having a lot of minutes together. But to come down the other end, if you're going to get that foul, you make sure the ball doesn't get above his waist.
Will Johnston took a bit of a shot, so he comes off the floor.
Need him. We need him in the game.
If you're Virginia Tech,
He's
that's
very
a guy.
important.
He can shoot it.
He can shoot that 3. We need him shooting that 3 ball. Hope he gets better, gets back out there. They need him.
And they're checking out Johnston at the end of the bench right now, so he got a sub. It looks like maybe they're checking on his nose.
Got a little bit of a bloody nose there, I do believe.
And there is quite the impact.
Hope the young man's okay.
Yep. So here is Ahmed Hill out of Augusta, Georgia. Missed the free throw, but Shane Henry just got tagged for his second foul. Their most athletic player and a very solid defender has 2 on him now. So now Buzz Williams has to reach into his bench and go to Christian Byer, senior out of New Bern, North Carolina, who just received a scholarship last night for this coming semester, which starts on Tuesday. So congratulations to Christian. Now he's playing some big.
Let's see.
Welcome to scholarship basketball. Now you got to play at the Dean Dome and play some huge minutes for him.
Let's see how much he enjoys his scholarship opportunity. So getting to go against the Tar Heels here in Chapel Hill. But scrappy team, Virginia Tech. They're not giving up. These guys are fighting, scrapping every ounce they can possibly give, try to match up with the Heels.
As Tokoto knocks down his first bucket.
Oh, he's got so much ability. I really would like to see him slash to the basket more off the dribble. He is so explosive. All these guys want to shoot them jump shots though. Woo! Man! Good gracious alive. You see how high he was?
Offensive foul, but I think your eyes got big with the leaping ability of JP Tokoto. We said he's one of the best athletes in this conference, arguably in the country.
That is incredible hops. Look at this. Look at his head. It's right by. Look at that. That's kind of hops I used to have. Well, kind of.
I was going to say,
I couldn't jump over a phone, but anyway, that was awesome, man. That's why he's just so explosive and so athletic. And I'd like to see him just put that basketball on the floor, explode dribbles to the basket, because it'd be so hard to get in front of him. He's a slashing type basketball player that can finish around the goal, and I want to see more of that.
Page is back on the floor as Virginia Tech shows pressure. So they've got Britt and Page on the floor at the same time. That allows Page to play a little bit more off the ball.
Full court zone press that eases back into a 2-1-2, borderline 2-3 zone. Smart basketball by Virginia Tech. Make North Carolina take out shots and want to beat you with those out shots.
Britt was way off target, but somebody's got to grab the rebound. It's Byer.
That's what you do. That's what you do for Virginia Tech. You make North Carolina prove that they can make those shots to beat you, because they're going to take them because they're wide open.
It's a big boy. It's 6'3", 220 pounds. The redshirt freshman out of Germany, Malik Mueller. Hasn't had a bucket in his last 2 games. They need him to provide some offense. Hill, tough pull-up shot.
Very difficult shot, and your best shot's going to be at the top of the key out of your offense. You get a better shot than that with patience. Continue to move the basketball, make the defense move their feet.
Page for 3. Byer trying to get position on Pinson. So tough to do. Another offensive rebound for the Heels. One of the best rebounding teams in the nation.
And if they don't get their hand on the ball to rebound it, they keep it alive. They tip it out. Just absolute athleticism. That's all that is.
And they're not a bad shooting team. 47% from the floor, so it's not like they're missing a ton of shots. They're just very efficient at getting misses. In the post, Hicks, smooth touch. Isaiah Hicks is the 6th Tar Heel to score in this game.
Well, that was a nice move on the bottom of Isaiah Hicks. Nice hit.
Tough finish by Jalen Hudson, another of those true freshmen. Went to the same school as LeBron, St. Vincent, St. Mary in Ohio.
Hudson just looking for the opportunity to cut into the lane. Did a good job, waited, was patient.
Nobody covered Britt, so he opted to take it. Just like you said, Brett, they're going to take the open shots that they get.
And I like this for Virginia Tech. They can lull North Carolina into a false sense of security, shooting those shots, those out shots, not taking advantage of their size. And that's exactly right. It's almost fool's goal, like we talked about in the Syracuse game. But it's a 2-3 behind it. It's fool's goal. They start shooting all these shots, North Carolina, from the perimeter, thinking they're going to run this team out of the gym. And if you don't shoot well, it gives them a chance to rebound the ball, which they're not very good at doing. Talking about Virginia Tech. Great game plan by Buzz Williams.
Shot clock at 3. Gotta move. Hudson gets it off and can't connect. Battle on the inside. These are going to be those 50-50 battles to see who can save it. Good effort by Pinson, but it'll be Virginia Tech ball on the other side. Part of my home court week here at the Dean Smith Center. 29 years ago today, they opened up this building fresh. They built it, and they've been very successful ever since.
Sure, that's what Coach Smith is all about. You know, being very, very humble and wanting us to work hard, keep your head down, and do the best you can. And I didn't want to move into this place. I loved playing in Carmichael.
Sure.
It was awesome.
You thought you would lose the advantage, maybe,
right? Thought
we'd
lose the advantage. Thought it would be too big. But once you filled this thing up with 21,000 Carolina fans, it was absolutely electric in this building. So glad. It's been a wonderful place for all of the guys who play basketball here in North Carolina to reside in.
I believe the record was in 2005, if I'm not mistaken, over 22,000
Yeah.
to capacity for, as you can imagine, a Duke game.
Sure.
2 Duke games coming up later on this year. The home game for North Carolina against Duke will be on March the 7th this season.
Going to be a good basketball game. Duke's playing really, they played well yesterday.
They did.
They looked great.
How about the adjustment by Coach K going zone against Louisville yesterday?
Sure, slipped into that little 2-3 zone and tried to make Louisville prove that they could shoot the basketball, which they struggled doing. And Duke was really good with it. It's hard to say, they look really good.
They'll be on Big Monday tomorrow night, taking on Pittsburgh. As Coach K goes for $9.99.
A lot of basketball games. He's had a wonderful career, excellent coach, done a great job. Tell you what, he's going to get that foul, I'll guarantee you that.
Boy, going aggressive into the lane once again, and an offensive foul. And Pinson stepping inside to take that charge as Jalen Hudson got aggressive going in.
See the drive, he beats his man off the dribble, excellent. But Pinson comes over from the weak side. That's very good team defense. Nice drive, good job of Pinson stepping in there, helping his teammate. That's what defense is all about. If you're playing really tight man-to-man defense, sometimes that guard's going to get beat. But when you really step up and help your teammate because you're on back line, you can see it. That's what it's all about.
Buzz Williams, we've seen him as usual, same way at Marquette and here at Virginia Tech now. Very animated, and he's already been given a verbal warning by this veteran officiating crew for stepping outside the coach's box multiple times. So a verbal warning already issued to Buzz Williams in this game.
Every time I talk to Buzz Williams, he doesn't have a voice. It's unbelievable.
It's a very gruff voice. But look at the speed of Hudson. He's been very aggressive, as has Ahmed Hill, trying to take some contact. So he'll go to the line as Pinson gets called for his second foul.
I like the fact that he's being so aggressive in attack. Hudson saw the opportunity, and he seized it. That is great transition, fast break basketball by Virginia Tech.
We mentioned Big Monday coming up. Obviously, Duke Pitt on ESPN. Right here on ESPNU, we're going to see a Texas team that showed up and impressed against West Virginia yesterday. Maybe an off night for Bob Huggins' team, too, but they'll take on TCU on the road. That's 7 Eastern Monday night. Big Monday presented by Verizon. Boy, Hudson missed 2 free throws. Virginia Tech, the worst free throw shooting team in the ACC. They have to make free throws tonight to stay in this game. Page, the left-handed floater. Very smooth. He's got 2 buckets.
Nice drive by Marcus Page. The defense really collapsed and tried to cut him off baseline. A little bit late getting there. Gave him just enough room to get that little floater off. Nice shot. Oh, nice drive. Oh, Wilson could have turned that corner. Ended up giving his teammate a great shot. He could have turned that corner, but the defense really was lax. But nice pass to the corner. Good unselfish basketball by Virginia Tech.
Hudson doesn't take a lot of threes. That's just his 4th make of the year. Look at the hustle by both teams. Tokoto trying to save it. Johnston, who was dealing with a bloody nose, is on the deck. Page was on there as well. And possession arrow belongs to Virginia Tech.
Well, that's what it's all about. You want to see these young men just in here scrapping, digging, getting after it. Both teams absolutely want to eat some of this wood out here. Get after it.
Now, Johnston, we mentioned it. You're going to see Johnston come flying in. Right at the end of the play, there he is, and he landed awkwardly maybe on his right elbow. Buzz Williams just came over and gave him a big hug because Johnston is just battling.
Old Johnston's tougher than a pine knot. He's been hitting the nose. He's hit his elbow. He's still out there flying around. I like it. He needs a hug. Give him a hug.
Look at Buzz. Think about this.
That's a great hustle.
Imagine what's going through Buzz Williams' mind. I'm losing 2 of my top 3 scorers tonight. I came in with 11 scholarship players, 2 of which are sitting out because they're transfers. And now I'm just digging into the bench.
That's right. He's lost 2 of his top 3 players. He's also lost his jacket.
Well, that's pretty typical, though, of Buzz
Right.
Williams, I will say. Boy, he really relates well to his players. Every Marquette player I ever talked to said he loved playing for Buzz Williams. And these are the top 2 scorers for this team. Smith is coming off the bench tonight. Bibbs is out with a concussion. And as we mentioned earlier, Joey Van Zegeren, who's their 3rd leading scorer and their leading rebounder, is suspended for his 4th straight game.
Yeah, both those guys, I mean, you're talking about Division I scorers averaging 13 or better a game, and not having those 2 in your lineup are absolutely huge.
what is that, 3 pieces of gauze in Will Johnston's nose right now?
He's got her wadded up. He's got one more nostril. He's good.
He's all right, yeah.
He's digging and scratching and clawing and fighting. Look at old Buzz. He's done lost that coat. That tie will be off in a minute. He's digging around there looking for him a towel, some Gatorade.
Texas boy from deep down in the heart of Texas, 42 years of age.
Excellent basketball coach. Love the guy.
We got 2 great coaches here tonight. Excellent defense by North Carolina as Page and Jackson forced Wilson to the sideline, and he stepped out of bounds.
Got to pay attention against North Carolina because they will come at you in that half court and trap you. That first pass across half court, you get trapped, and then all of a sudden you don't have a release valve. You're in trouble, and that's exactly what happens. You got to be aware of what they take. Woo!
Tokedo throws it down to the Jackson feed.
It's raining in here. It is raining in here. Man, that kid can get up.
You talked about it. You wanted to see Tokedo go up top. He finally did on a great design play.
Wow. Standing play.
Hudson, heat check.
What are they doing that backboard? North Carolina gets on that glass. Start this little transition opportunity. Roy Williams loves to run the basketball up down the floor. Get these long athletic players running the jump. There's another rebound. Big rebound.
Stolen away by Hudson. Leading ahead for Wilson.
Great hustle.
Great hustle by J.P. Tokedo. Speaking of J.P., one of the best dunkers in the nation.
I'm going to tell you, behind the defense, no one sees him. And I'm telling you, that young man absolutely can get some altitude up and under them Nike sneakers. Wow, that's incredible.
Nice speed by Jackson, who averages 2.5 assists a game as a 6'8" freshman.
That was a nice pass. That's what we should be talking about fundamentally. But realistically, we won't see that. Now we won't see that bucket, baby.
Speaking of assists, Tokedo is actually the leading assist man on this team. Not far behind is Marcus Page.
Nice pass.
Like to Johnston, that's one they gotta have tonight.
Gotta make that. That was an excellent out-of-bounds play. You gotta make that.
Nobody picked up Bryce Johnson.
Okay, Coach Williams got to be careful here. Buzz Williams don't want this thing to get away from his guys. North Carolina's getting quality possessions every time they come down the floor at this point in the game.
They've tied their largest lead. And now they've got to stop the clock, the officials do, because Will Johnston is bleeding again, I think, from his nose. But, man, this kid is really, really toughed it out in the first dozen minutes already. They're going to have to go back to the end of the bench and tend to him.
He's got that nose is bleeding pretty good now. That little gauze they jammed up in there didn't do the job. He's got to get that taken care of.
These two teams go back a long way. 78th meeting all time, but it's 11-3 North Carolina since Virginia Tech joined the ACC a decade ago. Virginia Tech has come into Chapel Hill and played tough. As you see the blood that's still on the floor right now.
Oh, yeah,
Left
Seth
by
Greenberg.
Johnston.
Oh, man. He had some tough basketball teams up there. Yep. Every time you played against Coach Greenberg, you had to, he is excellent about going over the small details of a basketball game. He'll break a team down. You better be ready.
You know what? Give credit to James Johnson last year, too, because in Blacksburg, they made it a tough game.
Yeah.
For North Carolina a couple of years ago in Johnson's first season. They took him to overtime here in Chapel Hill. So there have been some tight games the last couple of years between these two teams.
ACC basketball, man.
Yeah, conference play, yo.
Every night. Every night.
Still tending to Johnston, cleaning up the blood on the floor. Here is the series history between these two. You see the last 2 games in Chapel Hill, very tight. Overtime game in 2013, tight game in 2011. 4 straight losses by Virginia Tech in this series. Their last win came back in 2010.
You ever been to Blacksburg?
Been to Blacksburg.
Man, one of the great college towns
Absolutely.
for sports on the planet. And then people lose. Come football season up there, and those people lose their minds.
They've been to a bowl game 23 straight years, if I'm not mistaken, counting this year. They got in.
What a great place to go watch a football game and a basketball game,
Absolutely.
I'll tell you.
Well, while we got a moment, I want to remind you that we've got a Journey to the Tourney matchup coming up this week on Monday on ESPN. Great Big 12 matchup. Oklahoma knocked off Oklahoma State yesterday, and then Kansas with a loss on the road in Ames. Made it a game late. They really never stopped fighting in that game, but dropping that one yesterday.
Didn't think they were going to lose out there. I'll tell you what, 48-2. at the Hilton Coliseum.
The last 50, yep.
And the last 2 losses there were to Kansas.
To Kansas, exactly, right.
So I thought it was a premonition for yesterday's game, but boy, I tell you, Kansas just didn't get it done.
Swinging to the turning, presented by Sonic tomorrow night on ESPN. 7 on the shot. Here is Smith firing and way on target on the 3.
Got to get somebody on the backboard. Virginia Tech's got to figure out, and the best way you do that is to make sure you get deep into your offense, because you got to run, you got to execute, run off screens and cut and get people in that paint. Because what we're seeing from Virginia Tech is a lot of out shots, and there's no one on the backboard, no one.
They're going man-to-man here. Good help defense by Satchel Pierce. Hill on the push, tough with the left hand, and a rebound fought for and grabbed by Bryce Johnson. He's got a half dozen already.
Big Bryce up eating that glass tonight. I like it.
Jackson. Tokeno was there, just could not corral it cleanly. Good rotation. Hill a 3. This won't go down.
They're going to shoot that 3 in transition, aren't they? That's just what they're going to do.
Yep.
I want to see them going to the basket. I want to see Virginia Tech attacking that glass, get some fouls on North Carolina, give themselves a chance.
Good help by Mueller, takes us to a timeout. North Carolina, they can get up. You remember some of these plays from your days, too.
North Carolina is absolutely attacking. Look at that beautiful pass. Oh, that's up top, baby. That's where I like to go. Throw it up top.
An academic issue, he's back. Jaron Grant had another big game as Notre Dame knocked off Miami after a tough fight. And then Duke. Coach K, that Duke team bouncing back after a 2-game losing streak. That final score probably not indicative of how well Duke played and how poorly Louisville shot.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Louisville shot the ball just as they shoot the ball. That's too easy.
Hicks.
I'm keeping my eye on that Notre Dame basketball team. That Mike Brey, he can coach his behind off. When nobody's talking about him, and they are quietly putting together an excellent basketball season. They might surprise some folks to the tournament time, I'm telling you.
Wilson was in the lane, opted to pass it out. Mueller on the 3 was off target.
One and done.
Yep, another one and done
Get
possession.
on the backboard. Let's get some glass. Gotta get some glass. Gotta get on that glass.
Hicks tipped up by James, and Virginia Tech dodges a bullet, trying to push the tempo.
Virginia Tech might have grabbed the net there and popped it off the backboard. That's all right. Ref don't call it. Keep playing. Keep playing.
Mueller might have taken that little extra step there, but his possession's still going.
Don't call it. Keep playing.
But they'll end up calling a palming violation on Wilson. Maybe a bit of a makeup by Mike Stewart there.
Maybe.
A half dozen turnovers by Virginia Tech tonight.
Just look at the physical stature of this North Carolina basketball team. Everybody's so long and lean. And you can just see what everyone was talking about in the preseason with the expectations for this basketball team. They didn't play very well early on. Really struggled. Struggled scoring the basketball consistently. Defensively, though, I've watched them all year. They're pretty decent defensively. They're not bad.
Tonight, a pretty good offensive night. 10 assists on 12 buckets for North Carolina. Page the assist, and Justin Jackson his second 3. North Carolina with its largest lead.
Justin Jackson is really showing us something tonight. Shooting that jump, it looks smooth and good release. Man, he's going to be special.
Over 4 minutes for Virginia Tech without a hoop.
All out shots. Let's get a drive. Let's get a drive. Look where there's no screens. Set a real screen there. There you go. Turn that corner.
And they kind of maybe missed Henry there, I thought, for a second, right?
Because he set that screen. He was open for a second. There you go. There you go.
Oh, that is just off the rim. Boy, that was a great drive by Ahmed Hill.
Need more of that. That's just unlucky bounce. Get to the front of that goal. Put some pressure on North Carolina. Make them defend you. Make them foul you. Stop the clock. Make some free throws. Get some buckets while the clock's not moving. Play the game. Yeah, you're out, man. Got a little bit more talent on North Carolina's team, but well, you can dig something out of it. Dig it out of the hardwood.
Here's Henry against James. Big body.
Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go.
Good defense.
Good drive.
Just looking for an opening right now.
There you go. Finish it.
That's a great block by Justin Jackson.
A lot of ball movement by Virginia Tech. I do like that.
Yeah.
I like the ball movement.
Looking for Page. A corner 3. Virginia Tech on the push is just one-on-one. Tokeno trying to guard Hill. A whistle underneath and a foul is called.
Looks like Isaiah Hicks might have got into Henry a little bit as they were running. Virginia Tech did a good job moving the basketball around that last possession. A lot of touches, a lot of ball movement right in the middle of Henry there. Nice block. Boy, great help. I'm telling you what, Justin Jackson showing a lot of promise. I like what I see out of this young man.
Homeschooled in the Houston area, played youth basketball, and Roy Williams found him and brought him to North Carolina, where he's been very productive in his freshman season. Hill ends a 9-0 North Carolina run. And look at this. You got, I imagine that's probably from Will Johnston, who has had to leave the floor twice due to a bloody nose. Tells you a little bit about the physicality, I would think, of this game.
I like it. Will's out there digging and scratching. Got it geysering out of his nose, coming out from under his fingernail. He's out there. He's in big-time college basketball game. That young man's not coming out.
Pat Driscoll and Joe Lindsay discussing something here. Look at Hill, second on the team with 4 rebounds a game, and he's only 6'5". So he says a very small Virginia Tech team.
Well, we don't want these referees taking too long to discuss anything.
You hate to have it come between free throws, and I wonder if maybe they need to see who the foul is on. Now, you said it, and I believe you're right. They tagged that last foul on Hicks maybe on the way back up the floor.
That's the way I see it.
So they're going to go to the monitor to check.
Toe tries to block. There's a foul right there.
There's the foul.
That's what I see. Of course, I'm sharp as a marble, so I may not have the right.
You know what?
Eyeball on.
Now, is it going to be the right shooter at the line as well? Because if Hill was the one coming back, and there was no foul called with Tokido, so this is Hill against Tokido. They didn't call a foul there.
No. Henry's your shooter.
Yeah, Henry should be the shooter then, and Hill just took a free throw.
I could figure this out 30 minutes ago. What these boys doing?
Well, we got a great production team that gets it to us before they may have gotten into our officiating group tonight.
They're going to mess it up.
I'm just trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, that's all.
Don't do that. They'll mess it up.
So now Pat Driscoll is talking to Buzz Williams. I imagine that's the explanation. Is it the correct shooter? And it was not. Based on the foul that was called on Hicks, and if it is a foul on Hicks, it should be Shane Henry at the strike.
If I was Buzz Williams, I'd put my best shooter on the team on the line to see what happens.
Well, Hill's 68%. Henry has only shot 8 free throws this year. And it is Henry going to the free throw strike.
I called that 5 minutes ago.
You said it.
It's ridiculous. I should be the official.
Pat, come over here. Somebody wants to yell at you real fast.
I should be officiating.
There's Joe Lindsay, who's officiating his 38th game this season. Pat Driscoll's on his 41st game. And Michael Stewart's on his 43rd game.
These guys are really good. They do a great job night in and night out. Creating an opportunity to field a fair play. The guys we have in the ACC officiating are the best. No doubt about it. I like to give them a hard time, but they're the best. And they all love the game. That's the most important.
Right. You got to take the free throw from Hill off the board. That's why the point is taken off the board. So he has 5 points tonight. Scrap his free throw.
If he shot it, they'll let him count it. You can't take it off the board once you make it. That's wrong. Can't do that.
And he went back and tried to correct the shooter, and that's why Henry is at the strike. So they end up losing a point out of it because Henry, who's only shot 10 free throws this year, misses both. So this is the largest lead of the game at 12 for North Carolina as we approach 4 minutes to play here in this first half.
They were wrong.
Pinson's back in the game. Desmond Hubert is in the game as well. Here's Jackson driving in. Kept it alive and tipped it back up and in. He's got 10.
Great activity by Jackson. Got to get these guys from Virginia Tech. You just got to box somebody out. You see that ball go in the air, you got to get a body. You got to just sling a body into somebody and clear some space because North Carolina's absolutely killing them on the backboard.
Boy, more than 6 minutes without a point for Virginia Tech. Carolina, its largest lead at 14. Certainly this game in danger of slipping away early right now for a thin Virginia Tech lineup and a talented Carolina team that's won 7 of its last 8.
Oh, no. Can't make a bounce pass into the lane.
Yeah, Hubert with a bit of a mistake, but Jackson's rolling right now. He's got 10 of the 30 for the Heels.
Yeah, man, Justin Jackson's been outstanding. Doing a little bit of everything. Shooting the 3, dunking the basketball, turning the corner.
50 split come Wednesday night.
I'm glad Coach Gaudio's in the studio there. Adrian Branch is in there. He was there yesterday with me. He's a Maryland guy. He said Lex Brazil. He put Lex Brazil above Coach Smith.
I know you did not take kindly to that.
Yeah, somebody told me about that thing. AB done bumped his head. But Coach Brazil,
maybe he was thinking that. Maybe he's taking the night off after he bumped his head.
I love it. What a great guy. Does a great job. Enjoyed working with him.
I know he's happy. Maryland's playing very well right now.
Yeah, we ran him out of the ACC. They were whooping them Big Ten boys. They was wearing him out.
Pierce could not corral it. It'll stay at this end of the floor. Oregon and Washington when we're done tonight. Washington had a really tough stretch in the Pac-12. Knocked them out of the top 25, but taking on Oregon tonight.
That'll be a good ball game. Be a fun ball game.
Largest lead for North Carolina. Virginia Tech in a drought right now. Adam Smith finally ends that drought. Went nearly 7 minutes without scoring.
Yeah, they were over the last 10. And it didn't look like it was going to get any better. And I tell you, that's the only shot they're going to get out of their offense. It doesn't make you very comfortable if you're Coach Williams over there, Coach Buzz Williams on the sidelines. That's not what you want night in and night out. Got to have some meat and potatoes down there on the block.
Britt has not shot it well this game from the outside. Jackson to Pinson on the offensive glass.
Well, that's outstanding basketball. Great team basketball. Great unselfish basketball by Jackson. Finding his teammate wide open. Great hustle.
4 assists now for Jackson, too. You said it. He's done just about everything tonight.
Yeah, does everything very well. We were talking to Coach about it today in practice. Coach said, you know, he's got the potential. He has got the potential to be special. We got several kids. Tokedo's another kid.
Yep.
Long and athletic.
Boy, Satchel Pierce got an elbow up there, and an offensive foul is called. That's the second on Pierce. And again, we said it, Jackson has done just about everything well tonight.
Great hustle, great kick over. I tell you, that's just great awareness. Knowing where your teammates are, having a good feel for one another, giving your buddy a little time to get on TV with a nice little dunk. That's as good as getting. I was telling them today, if they'll just listen to Coach Williams, these guys will have a lot of success. I'll tell you that right now.
And they have pretty much extended this lead to about its largest, now 13, without Tokedo, Page, and Meeks, who all just came in to the game.
Yeah.
Bryce Johnson was about to come in for Jackson, but they didn't get the substitution in time. So they'll keep Jackson on the floor, which certainly isn't a bad thing based on how he's played tonight.
That's true.
10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block for Jackson in the first half.
Wow, that's a day's work for most. Really like Kennedy Meeks. I'm so proud of what he's done with his body. Worked really hard to lose that weight. Looks good. Look at that. That's nice. Good job by Kennedy. He's just going to get better and better. Coach Williams really thrives on being in shape and conditioning. He was the strength and conditioning coach when I came to North Carolina. I thought I signed a track scholarship. Good Lord, we used to run so much. We ran just to run.
He told us a story after one not so pretty night for your team going into spring break. There was some work to be done in the hills of Chapel Hill.
Yes, we run these hills quite a bit, and I was trying to fess up to something I'd done back in college today. Coach kind of was.
He already knew. He already knew what you had done.
Yeah. Then some of my buddies decided we would take a shortcut on one of our running tests.
And he found out about that?
And Coach didn't say nothing about it. And he ran us the next day. I couldn't figure out why he ran us, but he knew all about it.
Well, he didn't rat you out to Dean Smith.
No,
That's
he didn't tell Coach Smith.
Too.
That was good.
Shot clock all the way down to 10. Nary a paint touch on this possession so far. It's Wilson, guarded by Britt, firing for 3.
No rebound.
No, nobody there right now for Virginia Tech. They haven't really tried to crash too much.
Got to talk about that at halftime. Got to figure that out. You're not going to win any basketball games if you don't rebound the ball at all.
Hey, buddy, you were talking about Maryland this week. I'll be at Assembly Hall. Indiana might be in the top 25 come this week.
Yep.
After they had a win against Illinois. Maryland shellacked Michigan State. That's going to be a great matchup of 2 one-loss teams in the Big Ten. That's at 9. Then, I mean, West Coast Conference, you cannot not talk about St. Mary's and Gonzaga. Really excited for a Thursday night doubleheader this week. Jackson off target. And how about Bryce Johnson with 2 Hokies around him getting the offensive rebound?
Just absolutely dominating the offensive glass. North Carolina's been so strong on both ends of the floor rebounding the basketball. Offensive rebounds as it is.
Yep. Winding it all the way down, about a 4.5-second difference. Shot clock and game clock. try to throw it to Meeks. Good effort there by Virginia Tech. Possession arrow, though, belongs to North Carolina. Buzz Williams is saying he called for a timeout.
I have no idea who Buzz is. He talks to the official the entire time. He's talking to his team the entire time. He's just, I'm going to tell you, he's going to sweat through that shirt. There's no doubt about that.
That's not an uncommon sight for our man Buzz Williams, already sweating through. Only 3 on the shot clock here. It's a 4-second difference. And again, Virginia Tech, if they can get a defensive rebound off a miss, could have a shot at a bucket at the end of this half. I don't think he realized it. Johnson hoists it. Basket does not count. Wave out the basket. Does not count. Shot clock had already wound down, apparently.
I think we need a replay on that. I think that's a good bucket.
And you know what? It kind of fell.
Getting absolutely hammered Virginia Tech is on the backboard.
That's the biggest issue. It was one of the biggest issues we thought would be in this game.
27-12.
Trying to find a cutting Wilson. He's got to hurry up and get it in. Hill fires it through the hands. Johnson will take it. It'll count.
No!
And off the front of the rim.
Almost got that.
He almost got that rim. Would have been some nice symmetry to end this first half. Buzz Williams' team battled for the first about 12 minutes of this game. Carolina really started to push away after a long Virginia Tech drought. And Justin Jackson had the big half for the Heels to lead the 34-21 charge. Matt Schick, Dino Gaudio, we're having a good time here in Chapel Hill. Boys, take it away.
Thank you, guys. Excellent job by North Carolina, up 34-21 at the half. North Carolina's last 3 games decided by 2 points or less. They've never had 4 straight games decided by fewer than 3 points. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen tonight.
It will not happen this evening, Matt.
North Carolina and Virginia Tech. It's been all Tar Heels so far. The Hokies hanging in there early. Again, the Heels just, you don't want to say they're peaking, but they're certainly trending up. Won 7 of their last 8. And the offensive glass, second chance points. Bryce Johnson slaps it out to Marcus Page for 3.
And Marcus Page has really been trending upward as well. That's why Carolina's playing so well.
Kennedy Meeks has lost some weight. He's still bigger than most.
Well, he's taller than those guys anyways, Matt.
And then Isaiah Hicks, triple him. 1, 2, 3. Does it matter? No. Puts it in. UNC up 6. And then Justin Jackson to Tokedo.
Now, watch the lob. Now, when we show it to you again, watch number 3 and number 11 in the lane. They are screening the back of the zone. That's what creates the avenue for the pass.
About 9 second chance points here by our count for North Carolina
on that screen deal.
Yeah, it's not even about the stats.
Okay.
Because you realize North Carolina is going to beat them statistically in a lot of areas.
Okay.
They've got to do a better job of just taking up space. Talking about Virginia Tech. Finding a man, boxing out, being aggressive and physical on the defensive end, putting a body on some people, because North Carolina is just playing, they're playing volleyball, they're playing tip drill.
Right.
Every time a shot goes up, you got to stop that. I don't care about the stats, I don't care how many points you score tonight. On every shot that North Carolina takes, or every shot Virginia takes, somebody's got to box out. Everyone's got to box out. You just got to preach that.
I would not be shocked if that was the exact message from Buzz Williams, because he talked to us earlier today. Listen, he knows that it's a first-year rebuilding process.
Yes.
He's well aware of that. He knows how tough it is to play in this arena. It's his first trip here, but he said, I know what the atmosphere is going to be like. I wouldn't be shocked if that was the exact message. Just play physical with North Carolina.
Got to be very, very physical in order to handle and meet the pressure. Because North Carolina's outstanding at creating pressure. They've got great length, so make it very difficult. The passing lanes are jammed. You got to be really physical with this basketball team in order to create space and create opportunity. And maybe you get a foul or two called that gives you a chance to go to the free throw line and make some points when the clock's not moving.
Hard hedges by North Carolina. Late in the clock, Mueller found Henry, and he got the shot off before the shot clock wound down.
I love the fact that Mueller turned his shoulders square to the basket, drove into the lane. And that was a difficult bounce pass he made. But hey, it's a layup opportunity. They haven't had many of those. Point blank, we'll take it.
So Henry has 4 points. Mueller got the assist and just picked up his second foul. And Virginia Tech on a 4-game losing streak overall. They've lost 4 straight against North Carolina. Bodying up is Kennedy Meeks on the feed from Tokedo. The Tar Heels have won 7 of their last 8. The lone loss in that stretch to Notre Dame by only 1 point here at home. 3 straight games decided by 2 points or less for Roy Williams' team. You got to go back to January of 1976, the last time the Heels saw 3 straight games decided that closely.
Got to win those games. It's going to be a great team come March. And that's what it's all about. No matter how you win them, you got to win them. And in those games, they saw themselves getting better throughout the game. They saw progress. Even though they ended up being tight games at the end, they saw progress throughout. So that's what you want to see.
These are the first free throws of the night for North Carolina. And Meeks, 67%, but he's 12 of his last 16. He's actually been very good the last few games. He's trying to follow through a little bit. I actually looked up your numbers. You were about as good of a free throw shooter for a 7-footer as the NBA had ever seen. So what do you
for a 6-footer? What are you talking about?
Hey, 75%. Anybody would take 75% for their career.
Yeah, it's really hard. Big guys really struggle shooting free throws. It's all about touch and feel. You got to shoot a lot of shots. Kennedy's got a nice touch. It's just a matter of being consistent, working on that field. Every time you touch that basketball, it's got to be a part of your hand.
Tokedo, the strip.
Man, it's nice to have that kind of hostage just go in and lay it in like that. Nice defense. Want to see him play hard every play. He's got so much ability. Coach was teasing him a little bit today. He jammed the finger there too.
He's kind of grimacing and favoring his right hand, JP Tokedo, after that dunk. Kind of flexing it and squeezing it.
Good help by Kennedy Meeks. Big guy stepping out on that screen. One of the most difficult things to do in basketball for a big guy is to step out and help effectively on the screen. See Henry with the ball. Nice, good steal by Tokedo. Very nice, very nice. Offensive guy turns his back. You see Tokedo coming in. He recognizes he's not paying attention. Good job getting in there. Great defense.
He saw his eyes immediately go to the ball. JP Tokedo.
Pick and roll is the most difficult thing for a big guy to play out on the floor. And Kennedy Meeks did an excellent job of hedging on that pick and roll. Getting his body in and actually defending until the guard could get over.
Nice play by Wilson. Page trying to set up shop.
Go to the basket.
Yep. He was still moving, so he got called for the block, and that's what you wanted to see from Virginia Tech. Take it strong to the rim a few times.
Don't pull up, shoot those threes. Go to the basket. Page doesn't quite get there. Wilson's going hard to the goal. Now you got a flat clock, not moving. He goes to free throw line. He knocks down 2 points. Picks them up. They get him to 25. You're back within 11.
Devin Wilson, great point guard. 2 turnovers in his last 3 games and 21 assists in that stretch. So very solid. But again, he doesn't have the help of Justin Bibbs tonight. That was the major storyline for Virginia Tech. 4th straight game without Joey Van Zegeren. And tonight without their leading scorer and arguably their best player, a freshman in Justin Bibbs, out with a concussion.
You can catch a team like North Carolina because North Carolina's had it so easy offensively as well as on the backboard in the first half that can become an expectation. And you can turn up the intensity a little bit if you're Virginia Tech and catch them off guard.
A great ball movement. Meeks will go to the free throw line again.
Nice basketball. Good movement by North Carolina. Sharing the ball, communicating, understanding where one another are at. There is an expectation at the end of the pass. I like that. Kennedy Meeks gets a nice bounce pass. He should have finished that. Go up strong and finish that.
Meeks, a great game against North Carolina State. 7 double-doubles on the season. That's tied with Devin Thomas of Wake Forest. As we mentioned, the big story for Virginia Tech is the lack of Justin Bibbs. This is what they're missing tonight. They only average 69 points a game. They're losing 13 and a half of that.
Yeah, that's so difficult to overcome, especially at the last minute. So everyone else has to step up and do their part and see if we can make some good things happen. Sometimes you play better once you lose your leader like that. But not, one game you usually can step it up and come together and pull together and play well.
I was thinking about Illinois.
Yeah,
they lost Revante Rice, and they had to go play Maryland immediately after that. They beat Maryland,
yes,
so that's the one loss.
The longevity of it's what hurts you. But one game you can do it.
But look at this blitz by North Carolina. Wilson came out with it, trying to take advantage of the scrambling Tar Heel defense. And Tokedo still on the defensive end, and finally a Carolina foul is called. Boy, how about the hustle and trap ability of this North Carolina team? Roy Williams thought there should have been a traveling violation there.
I absolutely love the intensity of the double team. Got to be careful, though, if you're North Carolina, because there's a lot of reaching going on. You don't want to get caught reaching. But, man, they are absolutely ball hawking.
Well, that's the last guy. If you're an offensive player, you do not want to see JP Tokedo coming in. He is so good with his hands on defense. He did a great job against Trevor Lacey.
Yes, he did.
The other night against North Carolina State. Lacey ended up with 19, but he had to go 10 of 10 at the foul line.
Yep.
And at 4 of 13 shots go down against JP Tokedo.
Look at Meeks get out and show. That is excellent for a big guy. Good job by Kennedy Meeks. That is so difficult to do. Getting out and
Hard
show.
hedging on that pick and roll.
Yes, because as a big player, you don't want to get too far out. Your tendency is to get back into that lane so you can rebound. So you're giving it up. You totally trust your teammates when you get out and hedge that far and try to stop that guard. That's where a lot of big players make a mistake, is they get halfway. When you get halfway, now it's a double screen on your guy, and that causes the problem. The guard can either turn and shoot, or he can turn and go down the lane because you're in the way. When that big guy comes all the way out there like that, that is excellent. But he's got to know somebody's picking up his man because his man's going to roll.
Mueller found himself open, could not knock down the three. Meeks clears, Page on the push. Johnson from Tokedo. Well, that's a great look by JP Tokedo, their leader in assists.
Awful easy. Awful easy.
That's 3 assists tonight for JP Tokedo.
Look at Meeks get out there. That's excellent. He gets back. He's got great help behind him.
Now, if you're an offensive player, what are you looking for to try to get that?
Oh, you're rolling just like the big guys. You're going to try to roll to the middle of that lane. You're trying to get as low as you can. Pierce is doing the right thing. They're just not looking for it.
And then Pierce trying to step in and steal it from Meeks. He got called for his 3rd foul. North Carolina leads the ACC in assists. Another one.
Boy, that's awful easy. The zone in the middle of the lane is wide open. No hands, no deflection. You shouldn't be able to get a basketball in there that easily. Get those hands up. Play big. Spread yourself out. Give the illusion that you can't throw the ball in there at least. When you got your hands down, you're looking around, that ball moves around you, and you can't be effective.
This leads out to 15. Jackson Simmons, who came to this school as a walk-on, he gets to come on, playing his 13th game of the season, so giving a rest to some of the starters here.
Jackson Simmons out of Smoky Mountain.
That's right.
High school up in Sylva, North Carolina. That's my neck of the woods, old Western North Carolina fella.
Jackson kept it alive. Page tried to save it. Fell right into Roy Williams. Nice catch by Roy.
Great hustle. Well, you need to catch him. You got to catch him. Now, some of these guys you might not want to catch.
If Kennedy Meeks is coming your way.
If Kennedy's coming your way, you get out the way. But yeah, you catch Mark. He's a little bitty fella. You hold him up.
That's nice hands by Roy Williams right there. Hey, all that golfing, eventually I would think that he's built up some strength in those hands a little bit.
That's exactly right.
Roy's a very good golfer. Officials timeout here as Johnston has seen his nose get banged up, he's seen his elbow get banged up, and now he lost a shoe.
He is the human timeout tonight, I'm going to tell you what.
You know what? That'll take us to one right now. 15:53 on the clock here in the second half. North Carolina leading by 15 here at the Dean Dome. Kennedy Meeks arrived on North Carolina's campus last year at 317 pounds. He's all the way down to 265, and this is one of the things he can do better because of it.
One of the most difficult things for a big guy to do is to step out and to help the guard. Usually you call it a hedge, but what he's doing is a complete show. And when you show like that, it gives the guard, Marcus Page, plenty of room to get back to his guy and defend. Now, the downside for the big guy is his guy rolls to the basket. So you have to have complete confidence in your teammates that someone's going to pick up your guy until you get back. That's an excellent job by Kennedy Meeks.
We haven't seen a lot of pick and roll tonight from Virginia Tech successfully executed, it seems like, because of what Meeks and guys like Bryce Johnson have done defensively against.
Yeah, he doesn't just hedge. He does what you call a show. He gets all the way out and absolutely impedes the progress. Excellent job.
Here is Smith, just one field goal tonight. There's a second bucket for who is currently the leading scorer for Virginia Tech with Bibbs out. It's Adam Smith. He's got 6, one of the best three-point shooters in the conference. Cuts it back down to 12. Jackson, good defense by Johnston, but he's still got it to go.
He gets that step on the baseline, and once he does, he's so long and leap. He gets between you and the basket, and you got a problem there. Excellent job. Got to get in front of him. Got to take that first step away, force him back towards the middle. If you're not getting a double team on the baseline, you got to force him to the middle, or you got help.
Smith, nice pull up over Tokedo. Good shot, just couldn't knock it down. Wilson's guarding Bryce Johnson. It's a bit of a mismatch. Tokedo from 15. Jackson was there. It's an offensive rebound for Johnson.
Nice rebound by North Carolina. Johnson did a great job of getting after the basketball. Johnson had the ball. He actually got fouled in that shot right there, which could get a call. Good rebound. Good offensive rebound.
Nice shot fake by Johnston. Smith and Johnston exchanging, and Johnston hits his second three of the game. All he does is shoot threes.
Get you back in the ball game really quickly if you can make them. But like I said, we've said and chronicled throughout the games, you miss them. It's you don't have anyone on the backboard.
Jackson trying to flip it up there, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Attack. You attack, you get the opportunity to get the foul.
Monday night, ESPNU, freshman Miles Turner, number 20 Texas, after a pretty impressive win against West Virginia and Austin, will head on the road, going to Fort Worth, taking on a TCU team that's not ranked, not great in Big 12 play so far, but it's a battle. TCU got off to a great start this year. They're going to give them a fight tomorrow night in Fort Worth.
Yeah, they lost their way just a little bit. A lot of basketball left. You're going to have the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, and the teams that pick it up and figure it out over this next month, those are the teams that will be fighting for that championship opportunity come March.
You saw Pierce go to the bench. He's got 4 fouls now, so they're missing some size. With the 14:09 mark, Pierce picks up his 4th foul.
Looks to me like they're going to spread this thing out and really start gunning it. When you're talking about Virginia Tech, looking for every 3 opportunities that they can get. Pierce out of the basketball game. They don't, like I say, don't have that inside presence. And he rolled to the basket a couple of times. I thought they should have hit him as a cutter just to see what he could do with the basketball. He was 6-8 feet from the basket, but they never threw him the ball.
But that was when Meeks was hedging out really hard, and Pierce was trying to cut.
Exactly.
Boy, Hudson aggressive, but just lost his footing on the way up. Didn't get a clean look. The hustle by Pinson to keep it alive for North Carolina. Carolina is led by as many as 15 in this game.
Really like it when Virginia Tech plays a little bit more zone. I think they just get outmanned at the end of the possession by North Carolina when they go man-to-man like they are right now. Let's see how good a shot North Carolina gets out of this possession.
Shot clock down to 5. Here is Page, late in the clock. Tough shot.
Good defense.
I was going to say great defensive possession for Virginia Tech right there.
Good defense. Best man-to-man defense I've seen them play this season. Excellent job talking, communicating, switching.
I always feel like that's been a staple, and we covered a lot of Buzz Williams when he was at Marquette in the Big East. That always seemed like a staple of his teams, hard-nosed defensive teams.
All Buzz's teams play really, really solid defense, and that's what these kids are starting to try. He's trying to get them to buy into that. They don't have a tremendous amount of offensive talent, but you can defend. And as they start to buy in that and figure out it's more important to play on the defensive end than it is on the offensive end, they're going to get better and better. The programs will get stronger.
Page finds Simmons. Nice play defensively by Henry.
Simmons had a good point-blank shot there. Nice post-up, nice shot. Henry comes across with a nice defensive effort. There's the pass. That's the pass we've been looking for. Shoot that ball.
They ended up getting fouled, but you wanted him to just turn around and just shoot it, right?
And 2 feet from the basket. He's a good athlete. Shoot it.
I know you're probably sitting home going, what's Brad talking about? He found a good look outside. You always told me, though, when you got the ball 5, 6 feet, your first move without hesitation was to the basket.
Absolutely. You're 5 feet from the basket. Why am I going to throw it to somebody that's 25 feet from the basket?
Page picked up his 3rd foul, and here comes Satchel Pierce, the freshman at 7 feet tall, the biggest player on this team for Virginia Tech, coming back into the game with 4 fouls at the 12:42 mark. Buzz Williams is going to try to play with some size while he can. Smith gets free for 3. Gang rebounding by North Carolina, and Britt leaking out. Tough finish by Nate Britt.
Britt got there, didn't know what to do, didn't have a plan once he left his feet. That's a cardinal mistake in basketball. Keep your dribble, keep it alive, create some opportunity, left his feet, had nowhere to go. Ended up taking a very poor shot.
Well, that's not a good pass by Hudson, and Byer ends up fouling Hicks on the way out. First foul on Christian Byer tonight. You kind of had that sense Hudson hesitated and then passed it.
Yeah, he did. It took his time, and Hicks is just too long to be sloppy with the basketball on the perimeter. All these guys in North Carolina too long. Tokoto, Hicks, any of them. You really want to make sure you take care of that basketball and see exactly where you're throwing it and snap that basketball to his hands.
You're seeing the length become a huge problem for opposing teams. And I know North Carolina's offense gets a lot of play. They play at a high possession pace. But defensively, you've said it multiple times, they're a really good defensive team, and this length has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, because all we talk about is announcers and people like that are the offensive, the game, the score, how much somebody scores. But defense is what it's all about. And this North Carolina team has great length defensively, one of the longest teams I've seen this year. So as they continue to get better and they get into the passing lanes and they deflect and they grade out each game better and better and stronger, they're going to be tough to beat. There's not enough people that can score. Can they stop
rebound?
Yep.
Bryce Johnson on the offensive glass. He's got 8 points. North Carolina back up by 15. Back up to the largest Tar Heel lead of this game. Haven't turned this into a blowout just yet.
Tough shot. Tough shot. Got no rebounding help. You got the ball handler dominating the basketball and taking the shot to it. Makes it very difficult to get rebound.
Hill overcommitted. Johnson finds the rotation pass, throws it down, and North Carolina has its largest lead at 17.
Great team basketball. Excellent team basketball. It's a little too easy, though. Those passes, got to defend.
Timeout, Buzz Williams. 29 years of college basketball in the Dean Smith Center. Roy Williams has won 164 games as the head coach here in this arena in North Carolina. And right now the Tar Heels starting to pull away. A 17-point.
He couldn't play dead in the West. Jay was tough, but yeah, I had a great time playing basketball here at North Carolina. And got to go back over there today and hang out. See my old jersey. I tried to put my old jersey on. I couldn't get it over my head.
You couldn't?
Materials from. Bad material they used back in the day.
Yeah, I'm sure it was the material. That's why you couldn't put the jersey on at this point. ACC Sunday Night Basketball wrapping up the third full weekend of ACC play. Virginia Tech and North Carolina here from the Dean Dome tonight as Malik Mueller with his first points of the night and his first points, I should say first field goal in his last 3 games. That's Virginia Tech back within 14. Oregon, Washington coming up next to wrap up our Sunday night, wrap up this weekend of great college hoops that we've seen.
That was a nicely drawn up play Virginia Tech had out of that break to get that shot by Mueller. Good job getting an open opportunity and knocking down the shot.
Tokoto. Contact on the inside. Johnston will get called for the foul. He was battling with Isaiah Hicks. Media timeout, 10.5 to play. Carolina up by 14.
What's better than Golden Corral's hot and delicious yeast rolls?
Transition, obviously, they went from Woolen to Carmichael and now to the Dean Smith Center. Again, 29 years ago to the night is when you guys knocked off number 3 Duke.
29 years ago. It just doesn't seem like that long until I get up and try to walk around. Then it seems like,
then it's like, you know, that was 29 years ago, wasn't it? 1-and-1 coming up here for Hicks, and an offensive rebound for North Carolina. It's been the story of the night, really the story of the season at times for UNC. Even on bad shooting nights, they've still been able to rebound the basketball.
What's that length we're talking about?
Yeah.
We talk about all night long. They do a good job keeping the tips alive, tipping the basketball back into vicinity of a teammate, and it creates opportunity, and it creates another possession for North Carolina, which they want to out-possession you every night.
I'll give you some context for that. 74 possessions a game for North Carolina. Now, a lot of that comes because of their offensive rebounding. That's 9th in the country.
Sure,
so that's the kind of pace and the kind of out-possessioning we're talking about.
And they're one of the top rebounding teams in the country, and they also do a good job. When you get in the half court, they're coming to attack you. They're double-teaming you. They're putting a lot of pressure on you. The defense has been outstanding this year for this basketball team. Some of the best defensive stances I've seen by the Roy Williams team in the past several seasons, where the focus seems to be on defense, where it's usually on transition basketball, push,
right,
and then run you in the ground. They actually are stopping people at this point because of the length.
And they're still scoring 80 points a game.
Oh, yeah, they're going to score.
Now, we said 74 a game possessions. Virginia Tech, for a little bit of comparison, 67 possessions per game for Virginia Tech.
And the lack of strength on the back line. So that's a bad recipe, scoring-wise, night in and night out.
Right.
You're going to get outscored.
Page doesn't look right. He's right in front of him. He's kind of limping around a little bit.
He's hurt. He's in pain.
Again, that right foot. This is the story that's been at the forefront of the Marcus Page bio the last couple of weeks, is that plantar fasciitis in the right foot. And he just doesn't look right. Roy Williams is asking, what did you do? I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm not saying it's the plantar fasciitis,
but he got hit in the hip.
Let's see here.
What is was that? I mean,
I don't think it was Henry really making that
No.
much contact. Maybe he just tweaked something.
I'll tell you, when you're banged up and you're struggling with injuries, he's struggling with that plantar fasciitis. It absolutely is different. I mean, I can't believe he's playing basketball, first of all, with plantar fasciitis. And then it just puts your body gets so out of whack. You know, it just little things pop up, and you're going to hurt this, you're going to pull that. You're trying to supplement what you're doing, and it makes a cut. That's weird.
That was very odd.
Really hope he didn't pull or pop something, because that's a lot of times you see an Achilles injury where somebody thinks that somebody's hit him or that type of thing, but that was obviously in his hip. Maybe it's a hip flexor, or hip point. I don't know. They need him to.
Yep.
Don't want him to.
Virginia Tech just sub 4 out and 4 in. So Buzz Williams basically going with a line change. Byer, Wilson, and Smith are on the floor right now in the backcourt. Tokedo the steal. Tokedo the throwdown. Carolina up by 16.
Boy, he is